I was wondering if you'd like to go to the Strand to see a movie Saturday night, and then go over to Teen Town, maybe.
Well, yes,
Or if you'd rather go with the gang on a skating party and weenie roast, we'd have to leave earlier for that, though.
Doesn't it taste good?
The Morning Stream. You're not immortal. I know your secrets, Phantom.
Hello, everyone. We're back. And we're back. That is so my kind of industrial, or not industrial, but instrumental music. I could listen to that kind of stuff all day.
Yeah, put that in the background. The whole album's like that. Album is going to be coming out, like I said, November 9th. It's called Demolition. Public Memory is the artist name on that one.
I'm all in on that. That's
pre-order
awesome. It. Really, really good. Real good. Okay.
I'm calling it an EP. It's 8 songs, so it's somewhere between EP and full album.
What is there? So how do you define it? Is there a definition for it?
I usually say EP is anything 5 songs or less.
Yeah.
Or 6 songs or less. So this would be an album. Okay. And plus, it really depends on the length. I mean, Dream Theater can put out an album that's 2 songs and 45 minutes. So that's an album, not an EP.
That's a good point. Well, this is not an EP or an album. It's a this.
With the computer, as with any tool, the concept and direction must come from the man.
The man is Tom Merritt. He's the this in this scenario, this equation. Hi, Tom Merritt.
Oh, hello, Brian and Scott.
Hi.
Hello.
It's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well.
It's good to see you, too.
Yeah? Are you doing well? Are you having a good week? Things going all right?
Man, I am, actually. My roof sprung a leak, which doesn't sound like a good leak. But then the roof guy came yesterday and was like, oh, yeah, this shouldn't be too bad to fix.
Oh, well, then that's good.
So that just made my week all the much better.
Yeah, I love it when something could be worse than it is, and then you find out it's nothing really, or it's
I mean,
small.
I'd rather not have the leak at all, and it's not in the main roof. It's we've got this little enclosed porch thing, so it was out there.
Yeah,
not super damaging or anything.
It's like when a doctor says, "We're not sure if that's a tumor on your leg," and then later they say, "Oh no, that's just pepperoni from when you sat on." Yeah, I like that.
And you're like, shouldn't you have known that?
It feels like you should have known that the minute we first met.
So you just popped it in your mouth and been like, pepperoni.
Well, those tests make them a lot of money. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, also, if it was a tumor and he popped it in his mouth, it is.
Ooh, yeah, that's a horrible way to test for tumors.
I don't like the direction that this tech news is going.
Brand new technology. Taste the tumor, diagnose the patient.
It's not a pepperoni.
There you go.
Taste the tumor, diagnose the tumor.
That's right.
Yeah, it's the Skittles' new slogan.
Fantastic. Well, speaking of technology, Tom is here for the latest and greatest in tech news. He is, of course, the purveyor of the Daily Tech News Show, which happens every day. It's a fantastic show, and they do a rundown of all the news and help it make sense for you, the listener, and the viewer. Today is no different. Tom Merritt, what's going on in the world?
Well, there's lots of interesting things going on. Chrome 70 is out, which includes progressive web apps on Windows. And progressive web apps you could use in the Microsoft Edge browser up until now, but you couldn't use them on Chrome till now. And if you don't know what progressive web apps are, but you do know what Chrome apps were before they got rid of them, it's that. Progressive web apps is a standard for the same kind of thing that Chrome web apps are. So essentially, they run in the browser, but you never see them in the browser. You never see tabs or address bars, and they can even have icons in the start menu and stuff like that. So they look like they're just regular old apps, which has been something I've ever since Netscape Constellation in 1997. I've had this idea that the browser could exist like that, because then theoretically you can run an app on any operating system and it doesn't matter. Now, this is only in the Chrome version for Windows, so we're not quite to that lovely future yet, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I got done just recently playing with the early invite stage. I don't know, I guess it's a beta or whatever of the Chrome game streaming service they're going to do.
Oh yeah, right.
And that's another example of something that you used to always think that would be really cool if one day our browsers could be the window to things that are well beyond a browser's normal thought of capabilities, like browsing the web, checking your email, and that sort of stuff. And that was like a seamless, amazing experience. It was really. I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey via a Chrome browser on a crappy notebook and ran it at as long as I had the internet, it looked great. Now I know that there have been plenty of streaming services up till now, and that's nothing new in particular. But this was so seamless and easy, and running on a browser, that it just made me go, oh, just imagine the possibilities. Like the future really could be that this, browsers are the window to everything else, and why not? And I think they maybe know that, and so that's why they continue to roll out things like this. I mean, who doesn't want to be on top of the pile that when browsers become they're back to being the number one way you do anything? Like, I could see why Google would want that in Chrome, and I'm glad. I'm glad they're doing a standard.
The dream has been, for me anyway, I don't know about anybody else, that as graphical user interfaces replaced DOS and the command line. Well, maybe not even replaced, but sort of, made the command line sort of an option that you could use if you wanted to. Browsers might do the same to the GUI, where it's like, hey, we'll just do everything in here.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought that was going to happen for 20 years. I think that's long enough for me to just be wrong, but it doesn't mean it won't happen someday.
Keep holding out.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Don't you feel like that just ends up being like it's just a confluence of when does the technology, when does the bandwidth, when does all of these things come together? It's like, well, why wasn't there a YouTube in 1998? Well, because we didn't have the bandwidth for something like YouTube. Right. So maybe it's just all finally coming together, and your 20-year prediction was just needed all those things to come together.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I mean, you need the bandwidth to make online services like you're talking about work.
Right.
You need the functionality to make progressive web apps work, and there have been a lot of attempts at that, but it's never been quite as easy as doing apps. That's why we have the App Store. Steve Jobs believed that web apps would be the platform for the iPhone when they launched the iPhone, or at least he said he did. And then a year later, they brought us the App Store because, well, guess what? Native apps still outperform web. So
there was a time where you could install web pages as buttons on your, I mean, I know you still can, but it feels like that came before the App Store, didn't it? Where you could say, oh, I like this web page, I'm going to make a button out of it. Yeah, so
that was it, right? Wasn't that their attempt to say, hey, look, it's like a web app?
At least that was his pitch, was like, you don't need an App Store because you can do all this stuff. And some companies very rarely have made good use of that. Financial Times didn't have an app in the App Store. They just made one of those, and it worked really well. You would never have known it wasn't an app. If you didn't know, which you had to know because that's the only way to install it.
Yeah, but it really does come down to when does the technology make it fast and multi-case usable, and maybe we're just now getting to the place where that's the case with browsers.
It's a combination of tech and sort of I don't know what the right word for it is, but willingness, standards-based operation. It's not that you can't make web apps that are super functional and do what people want. It's, people are like, well, but it's easier for me to just make my native app than spend a lot of time helping you develop a standard. So progressive web apps have taken a long time to get to this point, but now they are there on Windows. It would be great if Linux support came from Chrome. It would be great if Mac OS supported progressive web apps easily in the same standard at some point.
Yeah.
But that's where it usually breaks down, because a company like Apple says, well, we like that idea, but we want to do it our way because we want to continue to own the platform.
Right. I can imagine a future though with like really thin client and having something like the Adobe CC subscription and not having to have the apps. I mean, it sounds crazy to me right now because I don't think I would do it right now, but I could see a day where maybe that would make sense so that I could access Photoshop on through a browser, and maybe this game experience last week really helped hammer this home, because what I was experiencing wasn't like some border and a thing embedded in a browser. It didn't feel like that. It felt like full screen Assassin's Creed Odyssey running at all high settings.
Yeah.
And if you can do that there, imagine what you could do with other applications, productivity applications and whatever.
Right.
Even easily, it's probably even an easier idea to have that kind of stuff streaming, so the services we're paying for no longer includes filling up your hard drive full of software. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, right.
I'm all about this. This could be a really good topic today, in fact. We'll see, I guess.
Well, we talked about half of it yesterday. Patrick Beja did a great job kind of lining out why game streaming services are about to become real options for people. So yeah, we might make it part 2 today. Like, okay, what about not game streaming services? Because one of the things he brought up that I thought was really, really relevant is games are harder to do than video, right? You can have a cloud-based video service like Netflix because latency doesn't matter. You can cache a few things, you can fake it to make it look like you're streaming even though you're really not, and that kind of pastes over any latency or bandwidth issues you might have so that your video still streams smooth. You can't do that with video games. You have to have it as low latency as possible. You have to have it real time. And the fact that they're solving that could make things like Office and Photoshop more likely. In fact, there's a company called Blade that bills itself as a game company because you can keep your Steam library on it, but it also says, well, you can also run Office on it if you want, because it's just a Windows machine in the cloud that we provide, really low latency access to.
Is that French one, the French company?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was super interesting. I haven't followed up on that, see how that is going for people, but yeah, I feel like I think we're all kidding ourselves if we don't think this is at least some massive part of the future of all of this.
Right. It may not replace everything, but it could, the way subscription services have replaced, and not replaced, the way subscription services have become the predominant offering for software, even though you can still buy downloadable versions in a lot of cases, maybe streaming becomes the next step up that ladder.
I think it might. Well, that and so much more on the table today for the Daily Tech News Show, which I'll be on today, 2:30 Mountain Time. Very, very excited to be on today, as always. I love Wednesdays. Tom, is there anything else that we should talk about before we go?
Yes. The monthly video game briefing is a new show out of the DTNS labs. It has graduated, starring Patrick Beja and Scott Johnson, talking about just these sorts of things once a month. If you like video games, but you feel like some of those video game shows out there are way too hardcore, you're like, I just like to play them. I don't need to know every single little nitty gritty thing about them all the time. This is the show for you. It's the high level look that helps you understand the gaming world better. So check it out at dailytechnewsshow.com/MVGB. Stands for monthly video game.
And it's really fun. Patrick and I have a great time on that, and I like the perspective that we're taking on it, specifically for a tech audience. So do check it out and see what you guys think. We have another one coming up in November, of course. Tom Merritt, Ace Detect on Twitter, dailytechnewsshow.com. Have a fantastic rest of your morning, and we'll see you at 2:30.
Thanks. Talk to you then.
Bye now. Wait. Bye now. Wait. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, now there's one guy listening to the show right now who emailed me and said, hey, every time you have Nicole on, you play her intro and it blows my ears out. He says this guy. Oh. So I want to play it now because I've reduced it, and I want him to call back and tell me if he thinks this is fine. Nicole's not here today, but I want to play it so that, this guy can test his ears. So here we go.
Good.
That is substantially lower than it usually is. I just need your feedback. Is it too quiet now? Is it just right? Is it still too loud? Still loud, says the chat room.
Still loud. It definitely isn't louder, Gutters at all. I'd say it's about 10%, 15% quieter.
Yeah, that's about what it is. It's about 15%. I think you're dead on. That's what I changed it. I can go further. I just wanted to see. I'm trying to. Right. I try to. You guys think that you can just reach out with these individual questions and they'll get ignored. We pay attention to your feedback. If there's something weird going on, I want it to be good. Simply E Squared says it's louder than everything else. Do you mean in the world, or what do you mean there, buddy? Anyway, he says all my intros are loud. Says Jedi 71. Well, look, for a guy who's only the 71st Jedi, I'm not sure I could be taking you seriously.
Exactly, yes. Tell when you move up to number 65 on the list, when you move up to top 50, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. 71. All right, we're going to play, or not play, we're going to have some fun here. We're going to talk about streaming stuff that we're into. Brian always begins the festivities, and he will do so today. Brian, do you want to set up your clip?
And I will say two things before the clip I brought. I'm about halfway through Cobra Kai, which is on YouTubered.
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 Why have I not heard that before? That's really good.
And I'm totally loving it. definitely worth checking out. And we just finished season 2 of Ozark last night, and I mean, if they end the show there, I'm happy, but I really hope there's a 3rd season.
Oh, okay, so good. I love the first one. I just need to get to it.
Yeah, 2nd season. Whew.
Really?
Anyway.
Some stuff goes down, eh? All right.
Stuff goes down. Stuff goes down every episode of that.
All right.
So let's get to my clip. I don't think I want to set any of this up because I already had to cut it short because it just goes into something that totally gives it away. So if you know it from this, great, and we'll see what happens.
All right. I'm going to play it now. Let's see what happens.
Sir, I know I don't come from much, but I will take care of your daughter, and I will give her life as grand as this one.
Bye, Mother.
She'll be back. Sooner or later, she'll tire of your life, of having nothing, and she'll come running back home.
I'm going to guess I'm going to say it's that Greatest Showman deal, right?
The what?
Greatest Showman.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to recognize Hugh Jackman. Yeah. That is Hugh Jackman and The Greatest Showman, a film inspired by P.T. Barnum and the creation of the Barnum and Bailey Circus. Maybe not factually accurate, but a lot of fun and a lot of good music in there. It's interesting. This one kind of starts to veer, for me anyway, into Baz Luhrmann territory without having the weird covers of popular current songs. It's got that almost steampunky, no, more like the Red Velvet Curtain kind of feel to it. The modernized Red Velvet Curtain, like Moulin Rouge had, and Strictly Ballroom and stuff like that. It is streaming currently on HBO Go, and actually, you know, I'm not a massive musical guy, but I do like the occasional musical, and I like this. Zac Efron's in it. Michelle Williams plays the wife of Venom, but also seems to play the wife of P.T. Barnum.
Wow, she gets around.
I guess not the wife of Venom.
No, the whatever she was. Yeah. I didn't see Venom.
Zendaya.
Oh, everyone loves the Zendaya.
But Mary Jane Watson.
Yeah, she was good in Spider-Man. I liked her in that.
Yeah, anyway, she's in this as well. She's really good. You could do a lot worse than watching The Greatest Showman. I think it's a good solid 2-hour bit of entertainment, like super bombastic, super spectacular, and crank up the speakers because the music is really, really good.
How's the chat room says there? Okay, Killer Minoc says it's okay. It only has 3 songs in it, and they just keep repeating them. Is that true?
No, it's got like it's got like a dozen songs. You get the A Million Dreams is kind of the through line, and then you hear a little bit of that's where that section that I pulled kind of comes out of the song called A Million Dreams. There's the This Is Me, which is that big song with the bearded lady, kind of made her a real breakout star, put her on the Oscar stage singing that for the best song. Of course, The Greatest Show, which is the kind of the theme song to the whole thing. Come Alive, which I think is the one with Zach and Hugh Jackman in the bar singing to each other. So there's 10 songs listed in the on the soundtrack. I'm sorry, 11 songs listed, and only one of them is a reprise. So there's a bunch of songs. Killer Rock.
Yeah, take that. Yeah, he did. Jeannie says, hated it so much I turned it off within 3 minutes.
Well, Jeannie, I think is she's a big fan of the original musicals, right? Like the Rodgers and Hammerstein and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's not.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I liked that it was kind of a fantasy reimagining of the story of P.T. Barnum. And
who plays Bailey? Does anyone pay Bailey for the Barnum and Bailey circus?
Oh, no. That seems like the weird thing, right? You'd think that like it would be him meeting Bailey. Oh, I'm sorry. I take that back. Yes, Zac Efron's character is Philip Carlyle, who's based on Bailey.
Oh,
but
okay. They
I guess they want to go the Barnum and Cartwright, Carlisle. Cartwright!
I say it 3 times. You know, come. I
was
hang up.
waiting for somebody to be introduced as Bailey, and I guess, okay, that was the Zac Efron character.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll see this. Why not?
Yeah. There's a cover album coming out, as Rick Fu points out. It's got Panic at the Disco, Pink,
Hank
Sarah
P.
Bareilles.
Hank P. Lovecraft says, I turned it off in 4 seconds. Horrible, he says. Why is it people are so split on this movie? I've heard this before. I've heard people that really dislike it, and then there are people who adore it. I don't know what this.
I enjoyed it, but hey, your mileage may differ.
Yeah, I mean, how'd that thing do on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm just curious here. Let's see. The Greatest Showman, is that it?
The Greatest Showman, yeah.
Showman. Here we go. The Greatest Showman, 2017. That movie did. Oh, only 56. So exactly split.
Wow. There you go, right pretty close to the middle. Yeah, I mean, Golden Globes had it as one of their nominees for Best Musical or Comedy. Mm-hmm. It was in the Oscars for Best Original Song.
Yeah, historians now agree Barnum wasn't the one who said there's a sucker born every minute, but it's hard to escape the feeling that you're being sold one of those bill of goods here. And then it's a right down the middle kind of thing. I'm still going to see it. I'm going to take Brian. Brian and I usually share similar tastes. I'm going to see if I like it or not. And I can't imagine a movie that you only saw 4 seconds of that you turned off. I feel like you're lying.
Opening credit, like they show The Greatest Showman. Nope, done.
No, I'm out. Like, why would you? Yeah, I need to know more about why you do that.
Hey, listen, if you've already got HBO Go or HBO Now, whichever one you've got, or you have a cable system still and you're subscribed to HBO, whatever, it's right there. You can watch it and see how long you last in The Greatest Showman.
Fantastic. All right, here's mine. Let's see if you can you'll figure this out in a heartbeat. It's just too easy, but I'm so happy that it's where it is, and I'm loving it. Here you go.
What do you want?
What I was told outside.
Don't give me that, you snotty-faced heap of parrot droppings!
What?
Shut your festering gob, you tit! Your type makes me puke! You vacuous, toffee-nosed, malodorous pervert!
Look! I came in here for an argument!
Oh, I'm sorry, this is abuse.
Oh. I see. Well, that explains it.
Yeah. No, you want 12A next door.
I see.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not at all. No, that's all right. Stupid git.
All right.
All right. So obviously that's Argument Clinic, Monty Python. But that sounds like it was the newer one that was at the Comedy Festival a few years ago.
Nope, this is the original.
Telluride?
This is the old one.
Oh, really?
Yep. This is the original one from the show Monty Python's Flying Circus, which is now in its entirety on Netflix.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So I've been having that kind of going in the background here and there and enjoying the hell out of it. There's also a little supplementary series hosted by, what's that guy's last name's Bonneville. He was in the, I can't think of his name.
Chrysler.
No, he's in the show the Downton Abbey. He was the Lord Manor guy, Lord of the Manor. Anyway, for some reason he's hosting it. Hugh Bonneville, that's it. You think I would remember that with Hugh Jackman on my mind, but I didn't. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's called, I forgot, Best Bits, I think, and it's like a series of, they talk to famous comedians, British and American, whoever, about their favorite, most influential skits that they would see on Monty Python. Like Jim Carrey talks about why one in particular just changed his whole life and how he knew he was getting into comedy because of it. And they have everybody from him to Seth Green to like Seth Green credits the Robot Chicken style on what's his name's cartoons. Can't think of his name.
Palin. No. Or not Palin. Yeah, Brazil director, Baron Munchausen director.
Freaking Terry Gilliam. Jeez, it was hard to get out.
That's right, yes.
Alexa, shut up. Why are you talking to me?
It's so funny because hearing that clip, I was so familiar with all the studio recordings, all the albums, all the Monty Python albums, that hearing the live version or hearing that version, the TV show version, as like, oh, that's got to be the newer one because it doesn't sound as clean and polished as the studio version, which probably came way after the TV show.
I love the studio ones. They were, what was that one that was a big compilation, like 4 CDs called?
It was great. Yeah, it came out in the 2000s, I think.
The big Rip-Off or something, and it was like there were like that. Guts on the front with like a slice, like a whatever it was. Anyway, that is a fantastic collection if anyone ever gets their hands on it. And it's all your favorite stuff.
That's right, the final Rip-Off.
Rip-Off, yeah. I think it was the last album thing that ever got put out, as far as I know. But I loved that collection. I'll bet that's probably streaming and stuff. Anyway, it's all on there. You can also get Life of Brian currently, and I don't know, I didn't check for other movies, but just kind of in a mood for Monty Python sensibilities right now, and it's totally whetting that appetite. No, that's not right. It's totally fulfilling that need there.
Yeah, that does. There you go.
Yeah, Netflix. That's where it's at. It's there now. It's in their little trending now area or whatever.
Cool. Can't go wrong with that one.
Yeah, and they've got some original something coming soon, Monty Python related, that they signed with Netflix, which I think is why they ended up with all this content, because Netflix made some deal and they got all the Python content. So,
wow,
I don't know.
Who we lost from just Chapman, Graham Chapman?
No, you lost. That's it. Chapman, but Terry
still with us.
Terry. What's his name? The other Terry.
Terry Jones.
Jones is in the final stages of horrible dementia, but other than that, I think just Chapman is the only one that's passed.
Now is the time for them to do something if they're going to do it.
If they're going to do anything, get in there, you guys. You guys are the most amazing, most influential people in the history of comedy. So, well done. All right, that's it for your recommendals, Brian. I think we should eat a thing.
Okay.
And
you play the sound while I get my box.
Okay, that sounds great to me. Here's our new. Let's see.
Don't crush.
No.
It's fun to eat supper with your family, especially when there is good food on the table. They are good foods to eat.
That's right. Even Japanese stuff. Hold on a second. Or maybe especially Japanese stuff. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I got a box here. And you want to pick this time? I picked last time.
Yes. Did you get potato chips that look like, maybe pizza flavored?
Oh, yeah, I did.
All right, let's do that.
Okay. What is this A, B, and C thing on the side? Is that how to do it?
Oh, no. Are there instructions on how to eat potato chips? Japanese have figured out everything.
I know. The Japanese, man, they just have it all covered.
No, it looks like if you buy enough of these, for 100 points, you can get an iPhone case.
Oh.
Or if you buy even more, it's like some sort of inflatable thing that you can plug in. There's a plug on one corner of that. Huh.
Look at the back side where it shows the case and a bunch of Japanese characters, and it says, cool! And then the next one says, nice!
I don't know if I have that.
Do you not have that
down
there
at the bottom, yes.
Yeah, on the rear.
See it now.
It's also
and it's like statues. Isn't that a statue person?
I don't know what that's
Isn't
about.
That Michelangelo's David?
Yeah, and they're all wearing... they're in a sleeping bag type? I don't know what's going on. That's funky. All right. This says to sell these by 11/26/18, so we're good.
Ooh, barely.
Yeah. We just made it in.
Ooh! Smells like I just put my face in Little Caesar.
Oh! That's skunky. Isn't it? A little? It's a little skunky.
No, I think it just smells like pizza flavorings.
Oh, my Lord. All right. Chat room, this is the bag. I'll hold it up here. Oops, wrong one. Here's the as usual, it's mostly air. And some chips at the bottom, about that much.
But at least these chips have held together. So
yeah, they've held together. And on the front is a pizza being pulled with like a bunch of cheese. We assume cheese flavor. And on the back is all that weird business with the statues in a sleeping bag thing and cool and neat and all that. Anyway, so here goes. Should we do it? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Trying to find a hole one. They're all kind of mangled.
Oh, really? Mine's great condition. Mint.
Mint?
Would buy from again. A++++.
Sweet.
I will lick it for Cleo.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it tastes like cheese pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it clearly tastes like cheese pizza, not pepperoni. Which the front of the bag clearly shows pepperoni pizza.
I mean, maybe I'm getting a twinge of pepperoni. Maybe. These are good, though.
They are good. I'll probably eat this whole bag.
They're stinky, but they're good.
And sadly, because it's all in Japanese, I can't read the nutrition facts, so I don't know how many calories I might be ingesting in here.
Yeah. Probably, let's see, are there numbers here? Let's see. Yeah, they don't. Oh. 348 calories per serving.
Oh.
It's on the back. You can see the...
And this is what, like 11 servings in this bag?
Let's see, 348 kcal. What does that mean?
Oh, yeah, okay. Kcals is same thing. It's
okay.
Like some places will describe it as energy or something like that.
If you guys want to check this out, you can find it at calbee.co.jp, which is calbee.co.jp, rather.
Yeah, I can't tell the rest of it. We've got 3.5 grams of something, 21.7 grams of something, 34.7 grams of something.
It's a lot of grams of something.
A lot of grams of something.
Space calories, Captain Kipper. You are correct.
That's right.
All right, that's that. Good. Tomorrow, Thursday, TMS will be, Wendy will be here. Now, last week, y'all got wimpy, didn't call in. It may be that the phones still don't work by then, so we may do an email. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to figure something out. I also thought about doing, like, you know, we do Ask TMS. Maybe we do ask, you know, hashtag Ask Wendy or something.
Oh, yeah, right. And then we have kind of a quick fire.
Yeah, then we can have stuff. At least we have stuff if I can't get my phone crap worked out. This appears to be a audio codec change in Mojave, macOS Mojave, and it's pissing me off.
Well, let me know if you need me to help you troubleshoot that later today.
Sounds good to me. All right, everybody.
Maybe we do an impromptu TMS call now at some point between Coverville and whatever's going on later this afternoon.
Yeah, that's not bad. I guess it depends on how much DTNS pulls me away. We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, let's now leave. And to do so, we must have a song to leave. So leave me with a song, Brian. What do you got?
We talked to him earlier in the show. Nomic wrote in and said, I started playing the ukulele over 2 years ago and find it quite